What do you think makes a good instructor?
Well, do you prefer to be called Danny or Daniel or?
Let's go with Danny.
Danny, all right, Crew Danny. So it's a complicated question, and it's also a simple question. So when you talk about instructor, I think a lot of people just say, I'm going to go in and I'm going to be an instructor now. But you have three different categories that I think are really relevant to someone who's going to be spreading any kind of live or dynamic art form. We're not just professors who sit in a classroom and we're doing sage on the stage presenting something, right? We come in three categories. We are instructors, we are coaches, and we are teachers. And an instructor and a coach and a teacher are three similar, there's some overlap, but they're very distinct jobs. And each of those jobs should be trained, and each of those jobs should be discrete and placed in the exact right location. Because if you put in an instructor when a teacher is needed, you're going to wind up creating rigidity. You're going to have a hard time with adaptive students. You're going to have a hard time with issues where students maybe have certain disabilities or certain misunderstandings. If you give someone a teacher, they might be able to coach or instruct. It's fairly adaptive. But there are times when you need a coach. And a coach is a little bit different. So if you were to ask what makes a good instructor, I would say the first thing is learn the difference between a coach, an instructor, and a teacher. Understand when to apply those, and as the gym leader, decide who should do which of those jobs at which times. I, for example, have a student in my gym who's been with me for 9 years. He's quite competent, he's very shy, and boy does he deliver wisdom. He's good at pushing people. He's really, really fantastic one-on-one or one-on-three. Well, he probably shouldn't be an instructor because he doesn't want to give a regimented program. He might not make a great teacher because of his own, not his skill, his personal feelings, but man, does he coach. And if I put him in the wrong position, then as an educator, I have failed to be a good instructor or a good teacher. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I'm sure that wasn't the question you were asking.
No, it highlights a little more deeper end of what roles are you fitting in and acknowledging it where it is. And maybe this is also, can also relate with like when I tell my students, it's like, in the beginning, everyone starts as a student, right? And eventually you start looking to maybe compete or take a little more serious, want to be a lifelong martial artist, or maybe you want to teach. And then there's more branches. If we're talking the conversation of being a teacher, a coach, an instructor. And the same thing as a fighter, right? What kind of fighter do you want to be? Do you want to be just a recreational person? Do you really want to get after it? Or do you want to have this as an experience in life? So there's, what I hear from you, sir, is the branches of that and acknowledging it. And just to kind of like, you know, object here a little bit, how does one find their role though?
Well, there's a couple ways to look at that. Okay. And I don't think that's an objection. I think that is the key question to moving forward.
Yeah.
I believe, and we'll talk about this in seminar tonight,
yeah.
You must first recognize a thing. Then you may question that thing. Then you may find an answer for that thing. And then you may question that thing again, but you have to recognize it first. How does someone find their role? The first thing is, let's say we're talking about a gym organization. It's easier when you have a leader or someone that knows this that can pass it on to you. For me, it may have taken 20 years to find that role because we had no guidance in what a coach, a teacher, and an instructor were. So I found that through trial and error, through persisting and not giving up in times that maybe some other people would have said, I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to go be a guitar player or whatever. You know, not give up, but like change to something that made more sense. For our students in this generation, though, you can understand an instructor, a coach, and a teacher. So Crew Danny can say, I know what they are, and you see someone come up under you. Here comes Jimmy, and you say, okay, I'd like to see him teach one day, but he's going to fit best into the instructor role right now. And I'll let him fit there. I'll make him strong there, give him confidence. You know what an instructor is. You train the instructor to instruct. And as you can feed little bits of teaching, Jimmy might find a role as a teacher. He may not, but you allow the opportunity for him to adapt into new roles. So who finds the role? Jimmy found the role. You provided the framework for him to climb to get to those roles. So at the end of the day, the answer is you have to, as the educator, if it's going to be efficient, you have to be able to provide that for your people. and then they will find their roles.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
This is great because there's a lot of, as our sport is growing rapidly, and I believe it's like, I personally think it's the new golden era of Muay Thai, golden age of Muay Thai right now, as we're breaking in. And we'll have a lot of new people opening up schools, gyms. A lot of people want to be coaches and trainers. And I think that it's a really good wisdom and perspective that you're sharing, that I think that those who are looking to develop and grow, or even myself, like I have to ask myself that question. And when do I coach? When do I teach? And when am I an instructor?
Because you have all those abilities, now
Right.
you have the responsibility for saying, when do I pull out the knife? When do I pull out the frying pan? When do I pull out the smile?
Right.
You have to decide those because you
Right.
have them.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.